Welcome back to another day in the Snow Family Racing Garage. Today we're working on the Rivieras a little bit more. Now I just want to say that last time we changed off those track bar bushings, holy crap, night and day difference in how this thing drives. I mean, it went from kind of, you'd think GM Quadrajet that was kind of that flop for a few years. No. This thing is beautiful now. It steers where it's supposed to go. Yeah, there's a little bit of slop left. Yeah, there's also 6 more bushings back there because it's a 3-link, not a 4-link, that need to be changed. But you know, that one thing made a huge difference. Now today, we're taking the carburetor off. We're going to get the accelerator pump taken care of so that way it starts better cold. We can actually, you know, stand on it good and hard and make the accelerator pump do what it's supposed to do. Runs great. You know, down the road, you're not working too hard. You ease into the throttle, runs great. So let's fix the accelerator pump. This is a Carter 4-barrel, pretty easy carburetor. I do have the original manual sitting over here. I have read them. I've looked at what this is going to take. I've got a carb rebuild kit. This should be pretty easy. I'm a Qjet junkie at heart, and the Carter is like halfway between a Holly and a Qjet, so we should be able to knock this out in no time flat. So let's talk about this for a brief minute before we dig in. So the accelerator pump is right there. That's for enriching the mixture when you tip into the throttle, like you're accelerating from a dead stop, you punch it to wide open. He gives it an extra squirt of gas to make things do what it needs to do. So we've got the 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4 back there. Looks like we got a big pipe fitting. That's going to be a fun one. No big deal. Couple of vacuum lines to take care of. We got the fuel line, which is easy to do. We've got the electric choke, and we've got the throttle, and the this is the kick down for the Turbo 400. Turbo 400s have an electric kick down. This is a dash pot. I want to say it was intended for the air conditioning, but it's meant to soften when the throttle comes back to idle. It kind of is a shock absorber, a damper, and kind of sets it down nicely so it's not like, you know, sometimes carburetors have issues when you snap them closed. That's what this is trying to avoid. So we're just going to set things up. We're going to take the carburetor off, and then we're going to go from there. Just like that, the Carter 4-barrel is freed from its moorings. Now the first thing we're going to take care of is make sure we take the power pistons out of both sides. Edelbrock users, that's pretty common there. Let's see here, we got a linkage here, as I'm looking over the camera. Got linkage there. We've got a little tiny like cotter pin there that frees the choke linkage. You know, put your eyeballs around it for a moment and just take a look and see if there's anything that's glaringly wrong. I do have this spaced up on a couple of 2x-somethings because it makes it easy to work on that way. So, power pistons are coming out, linkages are coming out. The top is now removed from the Carter. There's our accelerator pump and spring, and let me get my flashlight. Way down there in a hole, you can kind of see that little flat head plug. That is the well or check valve that allows fuel to flow into the accelerator pump opening. And then there's also another check well over here under the accelerator pump that I'm going to pull that off next, and we're going to look at and make sure this is actually going to pump like I need it to. Fun factoid, the Carters are a lot like the Qjet. They're a mechanically operated vacuum secondary. You've got the butterflies that open and close like a Qjet, and deep down in there, a little hard to see with no hands, but there's a set of butterflies that open mechanically with the throttle linkage. I've taken the main Venturis out. They're right here. I took them out because of that protrusion. I needed to turn the carburetor over to get the little check valve for the accelerator pump. It sits in that little hole right there. needed to tip the carburetor over, and I didn't want to mess up those emulsion tubes. Those are a little important. Now that everything's clear, removed, I'm going to blow some compressed air through all these passages. I will also take out the idle circuit screws and take a look at those when I'm this far into it. If there's any sign of issue, I'll fix those. Right now, everything else looks really nice. We did have this carburetor rebuilt, a year or two before it went into hibernation, but, so it was in good shape. Everything's coming apart the way it's supposed to. Just aside from this accelerator pump issue, it's doing pretty good overall. So here's the carburetor rebuild kit that I've got, and it comes with everything you need. Keep in mind, this guy is a dual feed with 2 fuel bowls, 1 on each side. So you get 2 new needle and seats. Since I really wasn't having any trouble with that, I'm just going to set those aside for a time when I need them. This is the guy we need, the accelerator pump. And, bits and pieces, gaskets, various things, like your Venturi gaskets. That little brass guy right there, that is the little stopper check valve for the accelerator pump. So, we're going to use that. It also comes with all those new little pins or clips in case you ping one off into who knows where. So you got other gaskets and various bits and pieces and tidbits. It looks like a different accelerator pump style if you happen to have that. A lot of these cover a lot of different, styles of carburetor. So, a lot of gaskets and stuff I'm not going to use because what's here is in good enough shape to reuse. So I'm going to use the part I need. The rest of the stuff is going to get tucked away for a time when I really need it. So I just did a test. I didn't drop the little stopper in the accelerator pump well, but I basically filled the accelerator pump cavity with starting fluid, ether. Figure it's a nice clean thing. We can push it through and it works great. So I pushed down on the accelerator pump and I got lots of squirt coming up out of there. So I've swapped off a couple of gaskets. I put a new gasket on the accelerator pump. I'm putting new gaskets on the Venturis because it just makes sense. I've taken them off. Let's redo them right. I'm going to put them back into place and start the reassembly process. I've thought better about the air horn gasket. We're going to change it off. I'm not happy with the way this looks in a couple places. So let's do that. We got to pull the pins out gently of the fuel bowls. Those slide right out, so we'll be in good shape. Probably won't start. Crank on it. Quick tweak. I want more throw on the accelerator pump. That's the drag racer. Some is good. I don't think it has enough.
We need a t-shirt that says that.
So we had to get the accelerator pump primed in its well. So when you're hitting on it the first couple of times, it really wasn't squirting. And now that the well is full, it now squirts like it needs to. Here, let me show you. So you can see the accelerator pump down there. We got accelerator pump again. So we've got the carburetor back on. Couple minor cleanings, couple of good things going on. Dr. Doug's driving.
Took right off.
Gonna go do a little bit of power tuning on this. So I just got back from the test drive with the carburetor having just been gone through. The good news is the accelerator pump works a lot better. Couple little minor tuning tweaks. Got to adjust the choke, but you can only do that cold, and it's certainly not now. So a couple little more tweaks to take care of. I think next we got to do a full tilt ignition tune-up. It kind of sounds like there's a high RPM miss, but we'll get there. One little thing at a time, and this car is just getting better and better every time we work on it. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.